Hey, phone. Yep, that still feels weird. Mm-mm. Mom's cutting grass. She has been outside in the yard while she's on the other side of the gate. I don't like it. Not used to my baby being in the yard by herself. Mom's like, you can go sit. I'll tell you when you need her. Oh, there's my baby. Hold on. Come on in, baby. Good girl. That's my baby, my love. See her? Wait, no. Hi, baby. I love you. Okay. You want to go sit? I'll lock this for now. I'll stand here so Mom can know. Well, until Mom looks in here and it's like, oh, she's in there. I don't want her to think Benna disappeared. So, anyway, I was watching this documentary because it's a few days ago, it's the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie. And so when I heard there was a documentary about the making of it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Because I love documentaries on animation. It's funny because I grew up like, no, documentaries are boring. And it's not that I had no interest. But ever since like Into the Unknown, the making of Frozen 2, I've been anything regarding animation. That's what's going down. I love learning about how it was made, seeing all the effort that went into it. I'm just standing here until Mom's like, okay, don't see Benna. Let me make sure she's inside with Bria. That's all. And I'm letting Benna look outside because she's small and precious. And she likes to see what Mom's doing. Hmm. Okay, we're in here. Okay. Okay. I don't know what on earth my camera's been doing because it's very hard to hold this on the phone. Okay, baby, let's go. Mom gonna be in that gate. Let me make sure this is locked. Yes. Yes, it's locked. Into the dark, we're small, we are loved in this world. I am back. Oh gosh. Y'all, I don't know why I'm so tired. I woke up with like allergies acting up today. Hi. Come, my puppy, come sit with me because you're precious in this world. And we'll be able to see when Mom comes and is cutting grass from back here. There she is. Don't you see her? Isn't she so cute? I should have this ring light on, but I'm tired. I sat down, my baby's now here. I'm good. I'm chilling. I don't know why I put this thing on. Something in my head was like, hey Bria, why don't you film something today? And I'm like, don't know what I'm filming. At first I was like, maybe I can react to I was listening to some of the songs from Tangle the series or Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Tangle the series. And I was like fangirling over the animation, and I was like, Bria, why don't you like just maybe you could react to that or something. um, I don't know. I might do that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to adjust this. Good enough. Maybe I may still do the reaction video, but for some reason I just want to talk. Usually when I'm in front of this camera, I'm sorry, I most definitely thought I saw something fly, and then my baby reacted. Oh. So anyways, I was watching this documentary and I was sitting here and I was really trying to think about my relationship to animation. And it's honestly, I don't know how to explain it as, but maybe in my rambling, something will come out of this. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I was seeing my arm in the in the frame, and it just doesn't. I was like, gosh, it almost looks unnatural. I'm not used to seeing myself on camera. Maybe that's just what this is. Um, gosh. Anyways, yes. I was I was thinking about. You okay, baby? Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about my relationship to animation and how, gosh, I don't know what it is. I love the field of animation. I think it's like the epitome of creativity. I'm so impressed by what the entire team is somehow able to come up with. From, I don't know, like coming up with the concepts, the writers, the story artists, the director's vision, the animators, the literally everything that has to somehow simultaneously work together to create like an animated film or show is just it's so cool and it's so impressive, and it's just it's different than live action, because it's like with live action you're kind of limited to what you can get in front of a camera, and other than special effects and all that stuff, like the effects artists, and but it's like for animation, like budget aside, the sky's the limit. Whatever you can imagine you can make, and that's so dang cool. But I'm like, I mean, that's not a but. I mean, it's so cool. And it's like, I'm sorry, the camera. It's like, on one hand, it's the idea of like, yo, I would love to be a part of that thing. I want I think my thing is I want to be an animated character so bad. I don't know how to explain that in a way that doesn't sound crazy, because it's like, it's not even specifically that I just want to voice a character, even though I think it would be cool as heck to be able to like have my voice come out of an animated character, especially if they look kind of like me. Like if their design was somehow inspired by me, I think it'd just be so dang cool. Like, gosh, I don't know. I don't know. I I'm trying to explain this in a way that doesn't sound crazy, because I just want to be an animated character. I want to have my character that I can like explore and interact with other characters. And I feel like that can like get a response like, Bria, why don't you just like go out into the world and interact with people in life? Because you're such a homebody. And I'm like, I am a homebody. That is true. um it's a different, I've storytelling just hits on a personal level for me. The world of stories and narrative and characters, and watching how they are developed, the ways that they grow, the things about them that make them human, or like at least resonate on an emotional level. It's just, it's the coolest thing. And especially, not especially, but on top of that, also watching just the way character animators just bring them to life. Them in combination with the voice actor is just magic to me. It's just the coolest, most amazing thing to see them be brought to life in their expressions and their movements and their voices. I feel like the voice holds a lot of energy, and it I think it's part of why when it comes to animated characters, it's an interesting thing that a character can have a personality that is relatively similar to mine, or like there's something I do relate to about a specific character, but it is very hard for me to really be like, yep, that's me, on a character whose voice is like more high pitched. I I have a low-ish voice, and it's gonna be crazy to watch this back and then be like, Maria, your voice ain't even that low. But no, it is. It sits in a lower register, and that's what's comfortable. And I think that shapes a little bit of my energy, because my energy is different when I speak like this versus if I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing and blah blah blah. And like if I was talking in this kind of a register for a while, and it's like, oh my gosh, and blah 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 blah. You know, I get it's different. It's different. And so when I come across a character who has like, you know, this higher softer voice and tone, it feels different for me. It doesn't, the energy for me is off a little bit compared to like a compared to a character who has a lower tone naturally. It feels, I don't know how to explain it because I can't. I feel like if it's a female character, I feel like if she has a lower voice, it feels a little bit more androgynous, and I don't. Baby, what's Lucy? No, okay, okay. I feel like female characters with lower voices, it gives them a almost, not always androgynous feel, but sometimes. And I don't know. I like that space. I think I is comfortable. Guy characters. I vibe with a lot of guy characters, and it's become not confusing, but there's the question of why. Like, even I started mentally adopting random characters in my head as siblings, and it's very hard to connect with many like more like women or girl characters on an emotional level, and I don't really know why that is. It's on that front. It's like, in a weird way, I think I explained it like this to my mom. I feel like the girl characters just straight up don't need me. Like, especially we're in this era of like some of them are very independent. And it's the damsel in distress thing doesn't. I don't know. It's almost like I can't even say it's not that it's like they're not three-dimensional. It's just something doesn't the I don't always feel the depth from a lot of female characters, and that's hard. It's hard. I feel like that's why I I vibed a lot with Luce, from the Owl House. There is a range and there is a depth to her character, and that I love. Um, no, I think it was like yesterday or maybe the day before. I wrote down, I really want to play a character who's unapologetically themselves. And then, like, in the process, have that somehow help me. It was crazy. I wanted a YouTube channel for a long time. Come on, baby. There she is, my loved one. Okay, go on and rest. Okay, so basically, I've wanted a YouTube channel for a long time, and it's for some reason I have been hitting like this block regarding my channel, because it's like, all the advice is like, gotta choose your niche. Oh gosh, I hope I'm not mispronouncing that word. I've seen it written. um it's like you gotta choose what your thing is gonna be, like what kind of videos are you gonna make. You gotta make it visually appealing. It's a whole thing. And as a introverted homebody who is much more comfortable dealing with the written word. That has been a very difficult that's been difficult. We're gonna say it like that. It's been difficult. I will attempt to come up with YouTube ideas, and it's like I've got nothing, or I'll come up with some ideas, but then it feels forced almost. It's like I'm trying to come up with the idea for the sake of coming up with an idea, not because I'm excited about it. And that's been frustrating. It's like, on one hand, a part of me likes the idea of being able to just, sit in front of this camera, talk about stuff, say stuff, explain what on earth is on my mind, get my opinions, but I gotta have stuff to talk about. I don't always have an idea of what I want to say. And then there's the whole, I don't really want to script videos either. Like, if I have like maybe a basic topic, some key points, that might help me out probably. But I don't want to have to script videos. If I'm gonna be writing, I would rather it be like I'm writing fiction or I'm blogging. I don't want to have to script something for me to talk, because if I'm reading, no, I could be very wrong. But I always kind of have this fear that if I'm reading from like, a script, that is not going to feel as natural and it's not going to come across as natural. I don't want to sound like a robot who is reading. I want to be able to just, I don't know, word vomit. That's the best thing that came to my head in this moment. I just want to be able to talk and say stuff and get whatever is on my mind out. It's I was talking about animation and how, like, I want to be an animated character so badly. But at the same time, it's like, I have a really weird relationship to, like, acting. I admire and I love actors. I never saw myself as one of them. Like, I've acted before. I've been a stage production before. I minored in theater. I've acted before. But I was never comfortable calling myself a theater kid. I was more like a choir kid. Like, I've been in like choirs at school since middle school. Like, I every year since middle school. And I don't know, theater kids, I love theater kids. It's something about their energy that is just It's so fun to me, and I don't know, I love it. I don't see myself as one of them, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Like, I'm just like, what are the qualifications of being a theater kid? Like, is it you grew up like being in like productions? Like, if you were in one production, are you a theater kid? Or is it like you were in multiple? You in an audition, you were taking the classes, you were singing on that stage. I don't care if it was you were a tree, you were in tech, you were like what are the qualifications of a theater kid? Because it always feels like this, like it's these this exclusive like club that I was like not allowed or like not invited to. Not I don't know. I don't know what the qualifications are, and therefore I keep feeling like I am not one. And I very well may not be one, and that's gonna be fine. I'm a Disney kid, I'm a Disney adult. I was in choir. I was a vocal student. I was that's fine. I'm a writer just by nature. It's really funny. I grew up saying I was gonna be a lot of things. I have had I'm not even gonna say I've had a phase for a lot of things. I was very I'm going to be all of these things. I singer, songwriter, actress, voice actress, fashion designer. I wanted to be a journalist at one point, and that was only that phase did not last long. That was only because I was watching Liberty's Kids, and my boy James Hiller. He said it with such pride, like I'm a journalist, and so I was like, I want to be a journalist. But that nope, it didn't last. It did not last long, you guys. It's gonna be so dang funny if I come back and I'm like, oh, remember when I said that phase didn't last long? I'm actually a journalist now. That's gonna be hilarious. Um, but that aside, my the arts have been life. I've loved creating things since I was a very young person. I don't even want to say child. I'm just like I was little. I was a kid. I was a baby. I was always drawn to music. I always was drawn to like singing. I was drawn to drawing. I was drawn to writing. I would watch my favorite shows and movies over and over and over again, and I would be able to memorize all the lines. I could speak them along with the characters verbatim. I still do that. I I can control that if I'm watching a movie with a person who does not know it. I won't do that. I will not be that person who is telling you, "Ooh, this about to happen." It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. You're watching this for the first time. I am gonna fake like I'm not going to. I'm not just not gonna tell you anything. I can fake like I don't know. I can act surprised each time I watch. That's just what I do. It's fine. That's just how that's gonna work. I Gosh, I almost lost my train of thought. I can watch my movies over and over again, speak the lines verbatim. I got into like making graphics in the last few years because my friend was trying to do something for her business. She's like, can you make these graphics for me? And I'm like, I've never done graphic design in my life. Like I will try this for you, but I'm warning you, I've never done that before, right? Um, but you know what? I did it, and it turned out fine, and I've been making graphics ever since. But usually, it's for like personal reasons. Like it will be like an infographic. Like I have this idea or like this thought or like this whatever in my head, and I'm like, I need to make it in a way that is simple and understandable from an outside perspective. That's what usually I end up using graphics for now. Other than I did when I was gonna do a podcast, I designed the podcast covers and whatnot. I've my YouTube covers and whatnot. I did do those, but usually I don't do. People don't really. She's the only one who's asked me to make a graphic for her, so that's a thing. Drawing, I draw on and off now, and it feels really good to be able to see something that either started as an idea in your head come to life and you be able to look at it. There's just something satisfying about that. Or what I started doing for 1 week was just no plan, just start drawing something just based on a feeling or a word or whatever was happening in my head at that time, and just see what comes out of it. That was fun. I like being creative. I like being able to work. I don't want to use the word work, yo. I okay. I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna say I'm not gonna, because I have gotten into this spiral of trying to think about, jobs and career and whatnot. I am going to push that aside for now. When I say work, I mean like doing the activities. I'm not talking about like work, like I am getting paid and compensated for whatever. I like being able to work in multiple mediums. I don't always feel drawn to doing the same things. Like writing alone, for example. Writing is the natural way that I express myself. That is just true. I have grown up like keeping journals. I came up with story ideas and characters, and I would like write scenes. I wrote songs because my singer-songwriter era. I wrote songs that expressed how I was feeling or expressed like an idea I had. I remember I had come up with a story idea specifically. I was in like elementary school. I don't know how old I was in this moment, and I'll probably think about it later because there might be like a certain landmark or something from that year that I'm like, oh yeah, that was that year. I came up with some story idea. It was a girl. I don't know why I was thinking about these ideas, but it was a girl who was like taken like at birth, like from the hospital, and it's like she grew up, she realized something, and she's like, I want to find my real family. I want to find who my birth parents were. I want I just it was that it was in this moment of her realizing she'd been taken and she wanted to find out her roots, like where she came from, who were her actual people. Anyways, I remember the lyrics. Well, some of the lyrics. I don't remember the whole song. I don't know if I can find it either. It was in one of my journals, but I feel like it was one of those eras where I was ripping out like the pages or something. Like it didn't stay in my journal. I carried lyrics around with me. I used to print lyrics and like keep them in like a little um thing. I would just carry those around with me and I would start like read them, and it would be the equivalent for me of like being able to listen to music whenever I wanted. Anyways, I remember the words. Like, I want to find my real family, the ones I know will be there for me. So it's interesting. I do love songwriting. I do. It's just, it's like I love that feeling of like I'm hooked into it and I just need to finish it. It's fun. It's fun for me. I love like walking around humming like the melody and like okay. Ooh, I could write that. Like it's really, I love that. It's a really good feeling. And what's interesting about songwriting, I feel like specifically and writing, honestly, but sticking to songwriting for a moment forces you to be honest. It forces you to be honest. I remember trying to write one of the lyrics to one of my songs. I think it was my song Wake Up. And it was like about being afraid to step outside um the image that you have crafted for yourself. Like if people know you a certain way, you're afraid to step outside of that because what are they gonna think? And it was something about like I'm gonna step outside that box, and I was like, they put me in, and I was like, no, that's wrong. And so it ended up being like, step outside that box I put myself in. And gosh, writing that line was just it was just so interesting to be able to be like, yeah, that's right, that I did that to myself. I crafted that image of myself, right? Nobody forced me to. That's just, it was what felt safe, it's what felt comfortable. And it's scary to step outside of something that you're used to, right? So yeah, basically when it comes to writing specifically, I was saying that I love that feeling of being hooked on something, and then like I have to write and it's like, oh my gosh, that'll be so cool. I love that. But that changes for me. Once I finish a song recently, like I think the last song I wrote was last year or something. When I finish one now, and it's like it's so exciting during, but once I finish, I'm like, I gotta do something else. Like I don't feel compelled to go back and like, oh, I gotta write another song. I feel like, all right, I gotta do something else now. Um, and I realized for like my story ideas recently, because especially I've been working on this series, that Stories from Azora, or the Secret Life of an Avikari. Um, and I love those characters. I just I enjoy being in the world of those characters. and writing for the main character, Vera, who I connect with on a lot of levels. Seeing their experiences and their internal monologue and like their insecurities and stuff like represented on that page, and seeing how they interact with the people around them and their friendships, it's special. It's really special for me. But I keep feeling like that need to, like, I'm not even gonna say need, it's like a pressure to make it into something. Like every so much writing advice is catered towards novelists, like people who are writing like a book, or specifically screenwriters, or specifically songwriters, and there's just so much focus on structure and needing to tell like this compelling story, like the 3-act story structure, and it's like you need this and you need that, and it's so much more comfortable being able to just write whatever I feel compelled to, and then if it turns into something, or I could work it out later, or I can go back and I can rearrange the chapters or episodes. I've been calling them episodes because truly the series is more episodic in nature, even though it's written, and the form changes. Like the first episode is a short story. The episodes 2 and 3 are written in like a script like format. It's different. It changes. And most writing advice that I come across doesn't help me, because it seems like I can't be the only one in the world doing that. But it's like most stuff isn't catered towards people who are doing what I'm doing, and so it's just something I gotta put up with, right? I just gotta live with that. And then blogging, and it's like I go from one thing, I go to another thing, I go to another thing, maybe I come back to this other thing, or maybe I go to something else. It's hard to keep myself on, I gotta do this one thing, because it feels confining. Like I can't, I just don't function as well in situations where I have to, I'm not gonna say situations, but in terms of my creativity, and I don't function as well with, I gotta stick to this specific medium, because sometimes I just need to do something else. Sometimes that's just where I feel pulled towards. And I remember I think was it last year? It may have been last year, where like the beginning of the year last year, and the year before, I was just in this, I was almost afraid to write, and it's like it didn't feel like a fear, like a terror. I was just so hesitant, like I was supposed to be writing something that we live in a very content creator, influencer heavy culture right now. Everybody's posting something online. Something's getting posted online every day. We see a lot of what people are doing online every day. Either they're talking about it, they're posting videos, it's a content heavy culture, and I kept feeling like that pressure to I need to be sharing something, and that added the extra pressure of I need to be making things that are worthy of sharing or that can be shared. And so it was difficult, I feel like, to write, and that's hard. Like I was still like journaling, or like for a long time I journal in my iPhone notes. I do have a physical journal that I use sometimes, but I'm like sometimes it's just easy to just pull out your phone and just, especially when you first wake up, having to either reach for or go find my physical journal. I started keeping it next to my bed for this reason, but sometimes it's still I just it's simple. Man, I lost my train of thought again. The interruptions, just the eyes. I don't know. I don't know, man. Um, I think the one thing that has been, see, but this is hard too, because it's like I have this particular love of characters, and especially animated characters, because I connect on a deeper level with animation than I do live action. And I feel like it's an interesting thing. Like character like fictional characters for me is very easy to feel like they are like these are family and friends to me. I love characters. I'll feel myself rooting for them. Like I want you to be okay. I just let me turn this down a bit. Yes, okay. Light was just shining in my eyes. I find myself like trying to understand them, and in turn, understanding them helps me to understand people in like life, because a lot of things people go through in life and that people feel in life is reflected in animation and film and storytelling. It's like it's an emotional language, and it's I don't know. It's it's something that's really special in my opinion. And I still find myself so drawn specifically to music. And it's weird to say, it feels weird, like not weird to say that, but it feels another human who's really into music is really into either specific genres or multiple genres. They're listening to things on the radio, they're following a specific artist, and they're really into their music. For me, I I don't follow artists very often. Like it comes in like waves. There will be like I would have discovered somebody, and I will be like so hyper fixated on them and their music for a period of time, and then that just kind of falls off. And when I go back to listen to them, I'm still listening to the things of that era. I don't keep up as much with people's newer stuff, and that's I feel so bad about that sometimes, because I'm like, Bria, you like this artist, why aren't you listening to them? And I'm like, I don't know. I need like recommendations. I need to be, I don't know. I think I just need to sit with myself one day and just do what I used to do when I would sit in my mom's classroom, because my mom's a teacher. I would sit in her classroom at the end of the day, and if I wasn't like doing homework or something, I'd be on the computer on YouTube listening to random songs, whatever I came across. It would be either songs I knew, or it'll be like in the suggestions. I'd be like, ooh, this sounds interesting. Let me listen to that. I need to do that with some of the artists I like. It's hard being a person who just doesn't fit the mold or the every interest I have. I look at the people who are like really passionate about that thing, and I still feel so separate from them, because I have a particular love of storytelling in all of its forms. I I am drawn to consuming stories. I am drawn to coming up with ideas for stories, and I like interactions between characters. I love that. But then it's like, I don't know. It doesn't always translate in a continuous way. Like, some people really like writing novels. Some people really like writing songs. Some people are poets. Some people are screenwriters. I think it's just kind of hard to form an identity as a creative when it's like your creativity is everywhere. And in a way, I feel like it makes it useful. Like, I feel like we're useful, right? If we have an understanding of multiple things, and we can bring in knowledge from different areas, and we have talent in multiple areas, I like, on the surface, underneath, it's a good thing. But when you're so used to hearing about like this traditional sense of, choosing one thing for like a career or a job, and like sticking with that, like choosing this one thing, becoming so good at it that you're like indispensable. I think that's the word. I hope that's the word. If it's not, I need to figure out how to edit a correction in here. And that's just not how your brain works. Like, that's not how God created me. I was created to be good in various areas. I was created to be interested in various areas. And I was given talents that it's flexible. But coming from I gotta pick a direction, it's I know that's not how it works for me. I know that's not how God's leading me. I just need to figure out how to see it in terms of strength, and in terms of, that's just not my path, instead of I feel like I still approach it from a sense of feeling flawed almost. Like, why can't I fit anywhere? Why don't I belong anywhere? Like, why even with the people I feel like I should be connecting with, why do I still feel separate and disconnected? Like it still feels, it's I don't, somebody knows what I'm talking about. I don't know how to put that into words. It feels a certain kind of way when you search for belonging, and then it's like you're not finding it. But it's, I don't know, a lot of things to juggle. Not the interest. I don't personally have an issue with having so many interests and trying to balance what my interests are. It's when I come from a place of I needed to find focus that it starts to kind of being like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I supposed to do next? What am I, I like when I just let myself flow and I go to whatever I feel drawn to. That's fine for me. That feels good for me. I think I just need to like let it. Follow your interests, follow what feels good. Like God will lead me where I need to be. I think, gosh, I guess I feel like a lot of other multi-passionate people probably need to hear that also, to like take a breath, trust yourself, trust that God's got you, God's leading you where you need to be. You're gonna be fine. We don't have everything figured out. We're not meant to. And that's fine. That's okay. You don't need to have everything figured out. I feel like at this age of like, oh man, it feels so weird to say my age now. Like I'm 26. Man, I'm 26. I'll be 27 in June. That still feels insane. But praise God for another year. Like, gosh, I feel like at this age, especially being in my 20s, I think a lot of us came into our 20s with like an idea of what our 20s were supposed to look like. Or maybe we didn't, but it's just like this internal feeling of, I think just a lot of us expected ourselves to have like everything figured out and everything by like 25. But like these 20s, it's just like it's an interesting transition period, going from, like, if you went to college and everything, going from school, even if you didn't go to it's like it's still a transition period. It's from going from school life, which is defines the majority of our lives, to this place of being out of school and out in like the world. It's crazy. Like, it's everything is so new, and it feels, exactly, there's a pressure, whether it's externalized or internalized. It's just the way our world works now is different from the way it worked for our parents or even our grandparents. And it's just, we expect ourselves to be able to just have things figured out, but at the same time it's a conflicting awareness, because it's like, on one hand, everything is new to us, we're not supposed to have everything figured out, but then it's like we feel like we should. Like, we feel like a lot of us feel like we need to rush and figure everything out. And then the questions don't help you guys. The whole "what are you doing now" question became like the bane of my existence after graduating, because I'm like, I hated that question. Don't ask me, I'm still figuring stuff out. No, I don't have a job. Like, no, I'm not, like, because every time I got asked, it's almost like it felt like it added like this extra pressure to have a good answer, and it heightened an insecurity for me about not having, you know, a job and making money in this era of my life. I think part of it's just learning to be more confident in what I am doing, because it's like, it's not like I'm sitting around doing nothing. Like I'm here with my puppy. I watch her when mom's out or like doing whatever. I like spending time with my mom and my puppy. I like learning about a lot of different things. I got 2 certificates since being out of school. I did Yellow Bricks and NYU's Film TV Industry Essentials program and their Animation Industry Essentials program. I'd been writing. I got back into blogging. I've been writing my own series, Stories from Izora, or The Secret Life of an Avikari. I've been drawing. I've been making graphics. I've learned about stuff regarding content creation and like how to start a podcast or a YouTube channel or a blog. And I've been doing stuff. It's just when the question comes up, it has felt like I'm always afraid of saying something I'm doing and then getting met with, well, how are you going to make money from that? Like, it's like an anticipation, like somebody's going to ask me this question specific, like, because it always feels like it's hiding a "how are you making money" question, which is funny because I put this exact struggle in my series Stories from Izora and Vera's conversation with Navi in the bookstore. I needed to get out that I wasn't feeling frustrated at the time, but I'm like, this conversation should be added because it's just so real for me. But I don't know, yo. Taking things one step at a time. I think that's all we really can do, right? They'll be fine. I'm learning. God's got us. Alright, I'm gonna end it here because mom's probably about to come back around. My baby gonna start barking. So, bye.